Right now on Good Morning America, first look, concerns about air travel chaos as the airlines are forced to cut back on flights beginning this morning because of the government shutdown. What we're learning about how this air traffic reduction will play out, plus the new fight over government food assistance as the shutdown drags on.
Possible new clues in the UPS plane crash investigation, including why that plane needed extensive maintenance in recent weeks. 13 dead, 9 people still missing. And now, the youngest victim, a 3-year-old, identified why she was at that location with her grandfather.
New worries about the bird flu, cases on the rise, the concern about rising grocery prices.
Tributes pouring in for a young NFL star whose death is shining a spotlight on mental health struggles. One coach's important message to parents.
Plus, the mystery surrounding one of the world's most famous diamonds, apparently solved.
Elon Musk wins approval for a potential $1 trillion pay package. How long it would take to spend that much money.
More gold at the White House, the new sign drawing controversy.
And later, we're ready to plunge into the weekend, just like these penguins in Antarctica.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America, First Look.
Good Friday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
And I'm Mola Lengi. We begin with concerns about chaos at major airports today as the airlines are forced to cut back on the number of flights.
Yeah, it's all because of the government shutdown. The airlines say passengers will be notified, but how this all plays out appears very much still up in the air. Now, ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details. Nicole, good morning.
Sophie, good morning. Thousands of flights are being canceled as the new order from the FAA takes effect. The U.S. government shutdown now entering day 38, and the impact is spreading far beyond airports. This morning, flight reductions at 40 major airports are beginning to take effect. The FAA has ordered airlines to reduce flights at so-called high-impact airports by 4% this morning. That will gradually increase to 10% of flights by next Friday. Airlines not following the rules will be hit with a $75,000 fine per flight over the limit.
This is going to be huge. So on a given day in the U.S., there might be 100 to 200 flights canceled. This is going to be 4,000. And mind you, it's not just canceled flights. Because of these canceled flights, there's going to be thousands more delays as well. And by the way, the 10% is just a starting point. They could ramp that up as more and more controllers call out.
The FAA says the air traffic reduction is needed for safety because of the shortage of air traffic controllers and TSA agents during the government shutdown. They're being forced to work without pay, and many are calling out sick. American Airlines beginning today will cancel about 220 of its 6,000 daily departures. Delta is canceling 170 per day, and United fewer than 200 per day through Sunday. It compares the impact to that of a medium-sized storm and says half of passengers on flights canceled today rebooked on other flights within 4 hours.
If you're in a market with only 2 small regional flights and you cancel one or both of them, that's a huge impact to that market. We want to avoid that. And so what we're doing is really spreading it around the system.
Multiple airlines are offering refunds and free changes for impacted flights. And while travelers are frustrated,
my sister and I both were planning on going there and flying to Raleigh and surprising our parents. So it was definitely, disappointing.
Airport workers are struggling.
When I call out, I tell them the truth. Can't afford childcare. This is enough to hold over for maybe another week.
Another major issue during the shutdown is government food assistance. A federal judge yesterday ordered the Trump administration to provide full SNAP benefits to states by today. The administration had previously said it would use emergency funds to only partially fund the benefits. Vice President J.D. Vance last night pushing back.
You have a federal judge effectively telling us what we have to do in the midst of a Democrat government shutdown, which what we'd like to do is for the Democrats to open up the government. Of course, then we can fund SNAP.
And the administration is appealing the judge's order, once again leaving 40 million people who rely on SNAP benefits in limbo. Mola.
Well, Nicole, thank you. New details about that deadly UPS plane crash. More victims are being identified, including a 3-year-old.
Come today with you two with a heavy heart.
In Louisville, a vigil to remember the victims of Tuesday's UPS plane crash.
We are here to help and support each of the survivors, each of the families who are in grief.
13 people are now confirmed dead, most of them killed when the plane crashed into this industrial area. 2 victims killed on the ground have now been identified as Luis Nesvedon and his 3-year-old granddaughter, Kimberly, who were visiting the scrapyard near the airport to collect metal. In addition to the 13 killed, at least 9 other people are missing.
Did everybody make it out? No. What do you mean, no? No!
Sean Garber says at least 3 workers were trapped inside his scrap metal recycling facility.
2 of the ladies were in their mid-30s. One of them, unfortunately, fortunate at the time, but now was pregnant.
One of them was pregnant?
Yes.
UPS also identifying the 3 crew members killed on the plane: Captain Richard Wartenberg, First Officer Lee Truitt, and relief pilot Captain Dana Diamond. Investigators now combing through the half-mile-long debris field for clues, extracting evidence from the charred flight data and cockpit voice recorders. The plane was about 450 feet off the ground, going 210 miles an hour when it crashed. And more video of the crash. The explosion has emerged. This dash cam video shows the 34-year-old plane's right engine still intact. This image of the engine on the runway, obtained by our affiliate WHAS, could yield even more clues. The plane, an MD-11, is part of an aging fleet. It recently underwent extensive maintenance. WHAS reports those issues include a crack in a fuel tank.
Well, UPS and FedEx still reportedly use dozens of other MD-11s, but the NTSB says it has no immediate safety concerns.
The Homeland Security Department is expected to appeal a judge's ruling that extends restrictions on immigration agents in Chicago. Part of that ruling says the top Border Patrol official, Gregory Bovino, lied when he claimed he was hit with a rock during a protest before releasing tear gas. The judge says video evidence disproves that claim.
The former Virginia teacher who was shot by her 6-year-old student has been awarded $10 million by a jury. Abby Werner sued the school, claiming the assistant principal ignored multiple warnings that the boy had a gun. The now former assistant principal will soon face a criminal trial.
Now to the tributes for a young NFL star whose death at age 24 is shining a spotlight on mental health struggles, even among people who seem to have it all.
On Thursday Night Football, the Broncos and Raiders paying tribute to a fellow player gone far too soon.
Please stand and join in a moment of silence to remember the life of Marshawn Kneeland.
Just this past Monday night, Marshawn Kneeland, the 24-year-old Dallas Cowboys defensive end, was celebrating with his teammates after scoring the first touchdown of his career.
Kneeland, the touchdown!
But yesterday, his story ending in tragedy. Authorities say he led police on a chase in Texas and was later found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Officials say Kneeland fled from a traffic stop. It's unclear why. Police then pursued him through the city of Frisco, later finding his vehicle crashed and abandoned. They searched for him using drones and a canine, as loved ones reportedly warned authorities of a potential crisis unfolding.
We're talking to the girlfriend. She's saying he is armed and has a history of mental illness, and her quote was, "He will end it all."
About 3 hours later, authorities found his body.
I heard from Marshawn. I heard for his family. I heard for his girlfriend. I heard for every single one of my teammates.
Kneeland had been open about his struggles after the loss of his mother, who had dreamed he would make it to the NFL, but died suddenly before he was drafted last year.
This right here, man, got her ashes. And yeah, you can zoom in on that, her birthday. It's so nice, man.
Matt Rule is head coach at Nebraska. While he did not coach Kneeland, he spoke firsthand about the mental health struggles of some young athletes.
Our generation of kids, my kids, they all just say, yeah, I'm fine, I'm straight, and it's just like, you really got to unearth it. So I would encourage everybody today with your own kids or the people you work with, just check on them, because, that young man scored a touchdown just a couple days ago. And on the outside world, you'd think he's at the pinnacle, but he's dealing with something.
If you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, you can reach the National Lifeline at 988.
Well, a century-old mystery involving a famous diamond has apparently been solved. The 137-carat Florentine diamond was owned by several powerful families in Europe, but was thought to be lost after World War I. Turns out it's been sitting inside a safe of a Canadian bank for several decades under the orders of an Austrian empress. Now, the last family to own it told the New York Times it was brought to North America around 1940.
Time now for your Friday weather.
Good morning. Some showers from the Gulf Coast to the northeast, maybe some severe weather in the south. Storm coming out of the northwest going to bring the chill while it's still mild today in the middle of the country. That's about to change big time over the weekend. First Arctic blast of the season, some freezing by Monday in Chicago. The core of the cold air getting to the east coast as we go into the day on Tuesday. Maybe some record chill in the south. Good news is the warmer out west starts to spread eastward after the record chill will start to moderate into Wednesday. 50s returning to the east coast. That's your forecast. Have a great weekend. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Coming up, Elon Musk wins approval for $1 trillion pay package. How long it would take to spend that much money.
But first, one suspect's plan to hide in the attic falls through.
And a new concern about the bird flu and its effect on grocery prices. Well, his plan fell through. A suspected car thief in Florida was trying to hide from police in his attic when he came crashing through the ceiling. After the arrest, the local sheriff said sometimes crazy things happen.
Well, cases of the bird flu are on the rise again, raising concern about another increase in grocery prices. Now, the price of turkey this Thanksgiving is already expected to be far higher than last year. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
This morning, with less than 3 weeks until Thanksgiving, new concern that turkey and egg prices could rise once again. That's because bird flu cases are rising again as more wild birds head south. Within the last month, nearly 70 poultry flocks nationwide have been hit with the virus, killing more than 3.5 million turkeys, chicken, and ducks.
Wild birds are really the carrier for the avian influenza virus, especially migratory waterfowl.
Experts fear the government shutdown and staff cuts at the CDC and Agriculture Department could weaken the federal response. One virologist telling NPR a network of researchers used to be in constant contact with federal agencies to monitor cases, but she says that communication has been scaled back, saying, "We're not in a great position for monitoring things. I'm finding myself in a very uncomfortable place." The number of turkeys in the U.S. has already dropped to its lowest size in nearly 40 years. With limited supply, wholesale turkey prices are up 75% in the last year. Retail prices up about 25%. Egg prices may also suffer, but there are Thanksgiving deals to be had. Walmart says it's lowering the cost of its Thanksgiving meal bundle by 25% this year. And Target is offering a Thanksgiving dinner for 4 for just $20.
A CDC spokesperson insists they have the staff to respond to any urgent public health threats, even during the government shutdown. Sophie Mola.
Andrea, thank you. Well, Elon Musk has won his fight for a potential $1 trillion pay package. It was approved by Tesla shareholders yesterday. The decision met with cheers, and Musk himself did a little dancing with a robot to celebrate. Musk will earn about $1 trillion in stock if the company meets certain criteria over the next decade. Now, for the record, someone did the math. If you had $1 trillion, you could spend $40 every second around the clock for nearly 800 years before going broke.
I'd like to give that a shot. Coming up, the former NFL star in custody, accused of attempted murder.
Also ahead, a verdict in the trial over a sandwich thrown at a federal agent. Did the evidence cut the mustard?
Well, back now with the cause of this explosion that seriously injured 7 New York City firefighters. Investigators say someone threw a lit cigarette away that ignited some trash. Now, the fire then spread to the vehicle, and that exploded.
Former NFL star Antonio Brown is in custody this morning after being extradited from Dubai. Brown will be transported to Florida, where he faces attempted murder charges. Brown fled the U.S. back in May after a shooting in Miami. He claimed he was attacked by people trying to steal his jewelry. Miami police say he apparently thought he was safe in Dubai because he was posting videos from there saying, "I'm in Dubai."
Now to the verdict in a closely watched trial involving a man, a federal agent, and a sandwich.
It's the case of the sandwich thrown at a federal agent, and now the jury has made it clear they have no appetite for charges. Sean Dunn admitted throwing that sandwich at the agent during President Trump's law enforcement surge in Washington over the summer. His action becoming a symbol of resistance, with signs like this popping up around D.C. Dunn becoming known as the Sandwich Guy.
The Sandwich Guy. Sandwich Guy.
The Sandwich Guy.
The Sandwich Guy.
His lawyers called it a harmless gesture of protest, but U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro accused Dunn of throwing the sandwich at, quote, point-blank range.
We charged him with a felony, assault on a police officer. So there,
Stick your Subway sandwich somewhere else.
A grand jury rejected that charge, so prosecutors downgraded the case to a misdemeanor. During the 3-day trial, the agent who had the sandwich thrown at him said he felt the impact through his bulletproof vest, saying, "The sandwich kind of exploded all over my uniform. It smelled of onions and mustard." But the defense said he was full of baloney and showed a picture of the wrapped sandwich lying on the ground, mostly intact. The defense also noting the agent's co-workers gave him a plush toy sandwich, which he displayed in his office and had attached an image like this one on his lunchbox, showing the likeness of Dunn holding a hoagie above the words "felony footlong." The defense arguing the agent and his co-workers found the whole thing funny. After 7 hours of deliberation, jurors yesterday found the prosecution's argument did not cut the mustard. They found Dunn not guilty.
I am so happy that justice prevails in spite of everything happening.
Attorney and Trump critic George Conway celebrating the acquittal with an original song.
I threw the sandwich, but I swear it had bad provolone.
Well, Dunn worked for the Justice Department until he was fired over the incident.
Coming up, after 200 years, a beloved publication calls it quits.
Plus, Starbucks responds to the wild demand for its new coffee cup.
Time to check the pulse, and we begin with President Trump's latest change to the White House.
Yeah, 3 words getting plenty of reaction. A seemingly temporary sign reading the Oval Office appeared yesterday in gold lettering. There's no word yet if it'll be permanent.
Next, after more than 200 years, the Farmer's Almanac is ending its run.
Yes, Farmer's Almanac, American institution, but the current edition will be its last. Today's media environment just brought too many challenges. The Almanac says it's proud of spreading a way of thinking that values simplicity and nature. Next, the new movie about the King of Pop.
The trailer for the new Michael Jackson biopic was just posted, racking up 30 million views in 6 hours. The movie stars Jackson's own nephew, Jafar Jackson.
Q, can you lower the lights for me, please?
Okay, but remember, in here, keep those feet still, my man.
The film is due out next April.
Looks good.
And next, the demand for a new Starbucks cup called the Barista Cold Cup.
The special holiday item went on sale for $30 yesterday and immediately sold out. They're now showing up on eBay for $300.
Whoa!
Quite an investment there. Starbucks is apologizing after reports that employees were actually buying them all. And finally, some penguins on the move.
Lots of penguins. These guys followed each other on a morning swim in Antarctica. That looks like us right now, jumping into the weekend.
Love it. Look at all these guys.
Oh my gosh. That's probably a pretty cold swim, though.
Yeah, I think they're built for it.
That's a polar plunge, if you ask me.
They are built.
Woo!
Top headlines coming up next. Checking more top stories, the FAA's flight reductions are taking effect at 40 major airports today. Airlines have been ordered to cut 4% of their flights today, and that will rise to 10% by next Friday, all because of the ongoing U.S. government shutdown and airport staffing shortages.
The White House says lower prices are on the way for several obesity drugs. President Trump says a deal with pharmaceutical companies will cut the price of Wegovy, Ozempic, and other so-called GLP-1 medications in half. The cost for some seniors could be as low as $149.
Well, the parent company of Outback Steakhouse plans to close more than 40 restaurants. The announcement, of course, follows this week's sale of Denny's and word that Pizza Hut may soon be sold amid the changing casual restaurant landscape.
Today's weather, rain from New England to the Gulf Coast, strong storms in the southeast, and up to 2 feet of snow and more rain in the northwest.
And finally, the extended winter weather outlook.
All thanks to some worms and Danny New.
This fall, for the 48th time, the town of Banner Elk, North Carolina, once again got its winter weather forecast not from a groundhog, but a worm.
I'm coming for Phil because, our accuracy rate on winter forecasting is around, the 86%.
This is all thanks to an annual event called the Woolly Worm Festival, when this town of about 1,000 people hosts more than 20,000 to come race these fuzzy little critters up pieces of string. As event chairwoman Victoria Bowman puts it,
I would love to say I'm kidding, but I'm not.
Where do you get 1,000 worms?
All over these mountains.
Eventually, a grand prize winner emerges. This year, it was Billy who won the $1,000 prize for Maribel here from Indiana. Afterward, per tradition, the grand prize winner's coat is then interpreted, as the Woolly Worm's 13 bands are used to predict the roughly 13 weeks of winter.
So the darker the band, the more intense the weather is supposed to be.
And hey, this practice actually predates the festival. For example, this article from Time in 1948 writes, quote, "If the brown band is wide, it will be a mild winter. If the brown band is narrow, the winter will be a freezeroo." Michael, come on! But for the record, at the Woolly Worm Festival, once these fuzzy competitors are done being potential prognosticators, attendees are encouraged to return them to the wild. However,
then they go through their life cycle and they turn into moths. So it's really not a glamorous end for the winter.
Yay, moths. Also, for the record, Billy's coat indicated that this year's winter will start off snowy and cold, then have 4 weeks of mild temperatures, and then go back to snowy and cold, guys.
Might be a freezeroo.
86% accuracy, so probably.
That's your Good Morning America first look.
Have a great day and a great weekend.